All right, welcome to Racing Roots with Ham, and we every
How about cheese
Monday
with some
evening,
of that ham, David?
Yeah, some ham and cheese,
Ham
and
and
maybe a little bit of
cheese.
wine with that.
Crack it up, baby. Well, I'm a non-drinker, but give me a Mountain Dew, give me a Mountain Dew or Sun Drop.
There you go.
I love my Sun Drop.
You like your Sun Drop, huh?
Maybe that's why I only sleep 3 hours a night.
Well, I know there's other things that you like, but first of all, we got Harold Johnson in with us tonight, the one and only, the big guy, Harold Johnson from the Channel 9 News down in Charlotte and WSIC up here in Statesville.
Oh, had a good time. Good run, David. We're not done yet. I'll be 80 in 4 months. And I feel good. I look good. I always felt like I look good, contrary to what a lot of people say. Now they say, take off that mask, Harold. I said, well, I have to wear it now. But it's good to see you, David. Thank you for inviting me to come on.
Yes, sir. It's great to see you and glad to have you. And I know that you had all right, so one of the things you like is somebody, I guess that's your phone probably, girl.
Yeah, excuse me, I'm sorry.
You're like a, I know I was looking over Phil at first. But you like
I'm new to the phone. Not new to them, but I'm limited. Okay, I apologize.
There
you go. We're good.
No,
We're
you're
good.
fine, sir. So you
continue where you were, David.
I know there's a couple of things that you believe in. That's your chocolate every day.
I eat some form of chocolate every day.
Yes.
And that's why my cholesterol is 119. My let's see, what else have I got? Blood pressure is 120 over 40.
Yeah.
But I lead a good life. I don't drink or smoke, which whatever.
Yeah.
But I exercise. I play golf almost every day. In fact, I pray for rain someday so I can just stay in bed for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I don't sleep. I sleep about 4 or 5 hours a night. I know you should get 8 hours. That's documented.
That's what they say.
And you can take a nap in the afternoon for 2 hours and sleep for 6 at night or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm wired. When I wake up, I am ready to go. It's not one of these, I'm not a morning person.
Yeah,
when
same here.
my eyes are open, let's go. What's today going to bring?
Yes.
Give me some excitement today.
There you go.
Fire it up. Let it go.
So when do you take your vitamin D? What time of day?
I stopped taking vitamin D.
Oh, you did?
I don't take any vitamins at all now because I read several stories about they did the placebo.
Oh.
You know, these other folks get vitamin E.
Yeah.
These other folks get D. These other folks get the nothing. And the nothing crowd was just as healthy as those that took the vitamin D.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not a dumb arse. I said, boy, take it. And
Yeah. Well, I understand.
I feel good.
mean,
but some people would take 4, 5, and 6 vitamins, and then what do? They go take a nap on the sofa.
Right.
No.
Yes.
And I never sit down. That's another. I'm sitting now. This is the longest I'll sit probably for a long, long time. My wife used to say to me, I'd sit in front of the TV, literally stand in front of the TV, flipping. Will you please sit down? That was her biggest complaint about me for 44 years of marriage. Bless her heart, she was lovely. She passed away 16 years ago with multiple myeloma. But she used to tease me, will you please sit down for 5 minutes? Sit down. And I said, honey, I just can't, darling. I just can't. So boom.
Well,
you got to keep moving.
That's probably one of your secrets to still going is you got to keep moving.
Yeah, and I'll do some exercises too. A little bit of stuff. I weigh about 170, 172. And again, my chocolate, if there's one vice, it's you can win my heart with chocolate.
There you go.
And they say the dark chocolate is good for you. I was eating some dark chocolate orange sticks before came over here tonight.
Oh, okay.
Just to make sure I
got some of these if you want.
Let me see, what do you got?
It's not chocolate.
That's a mint, right?
It's just I'm
I'm off the mints. Mint sounds good for you.
Straight sugar.
The only mint
right
I want to see is the one where all the money's at. Show me that mint, baby. I'll line up to get some of that. Oh, yeah.
There you go. You sound like you're going back to your days with hanging out with Ric Flair.
Oh, you hit a good note with that one, David.
There's a picture of Rick there.
I see it, David. I talked to Tommy Young.
Yes.
You know, Tommy Young, the referee.
Oh, yeah.
The referee. I talked to him last week.
Yeah.
I said, Tommy, we stay in touch. How you doing? Tommy's a great guy, wonderful guy. And we talked. He's talked to Flair a couple of weeks ago. We did an event up in where was it? 2 years ago. When I was working at the other station, Rick made a personal appearance with Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah.
And we were, was it Forest City, home of Smokey Burgess, you baseball fans, catcher for the Phillies and Cincinnati Reds. And we went up there and met with Rick and got in the ring with him. They had a huge, must have had 2,000 people. People were lined up and going crazy. And they love Rick and they like Steamboat. They asked me for my autograph before they asked them.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Yes, Ricky and Rick looked at each other and said, look at Harold, he still got it.
You know, when I was a kid, I was watching it on TV, but I didn't like Ric Flair. You know, you were either a Ric Flair fan or you weren't, but I was a Ricky Steamboat fan.
Oh, Ricky's great guy.
Yes.
Great guy growing up. We did one of the most amazing things ever at Memorial Stadium in Charlotte, beautiful summer night, Summer Slam, whatever they wanted to call it. I talked to David Crockett. I said, David, how about me and Flair? We come in on Chopper 9.
Oh, yeah.
He went, what? I said, yeah, and you guys rolled out a red carpet. And we're circling the stadium, and the fans, you know, you look up, it's Chopper 9. Who could it be? because we didn't announce it. The door opens, out comes Flair, and I came out behind him. It's the biggest mistake I ever made in broadcasting. I didn't get in front of Ric Flair. I stood behind Flair. He's got his arms flailing with his robe. You couldn't even see me. What's this all about? Where's Harold? Harold's underneath the feathers. And we rode around the Memorial Stadium in the golf cart.
Yes.
People were going crazy. He was good. We did it a year later. He was a bad guy.
Yeah.
They were throwing stuff and hitting me. I said, hey, dude, if we do this again next year, hey, you better be a good guy. And he was.
Yeah.
And we had it. But I love
man.
Rick was that's what started the popularity of wrestling in Charlotte. Everybody said, Harold, you know what it is. It's fake. Hey, it's showbiz, okay?
Yes,
that's
right.
what life is all about, you know? And people would always call me on Monday, and they would say, hey, how's Flair doing his match? This, that. And it didn't take long for the lights to go off, David, and say, you know what? There's something to this. Give some results. And people were saying, oh, you can't put that on the air. I said, I can't. Why can't I? I got my job. I'll put it on the air what I want. Oh, people won't like it. But you know what? People loved it, and that's why we were able to take over #1 in Charlotte of a beautiful, great TV station named Channel 3, because he'd been here forever, right? Signed on forever. When I came down here in 1958, Channel 9 had just gone on the air in the mid 50s, I guess, and Channel 3 was the big kahuna. I mean, it was just the lineup that they had, weather-wise, and the anchor people. Doug Mays, our very good friend, worked with him at Channel 9 after he left. Well, I did work with him at Channel 3 too before I left there in '79.
Yeah, and you only had what 3, 9, 36, and 18. I think was the 4 stations.
Oh. And the fact when we took over #1, one of the big reasons why, I'll have to admit it, was our sports department, because we started covering stuff that people wanted to see.
Right.
That's a novel approach.
It's a ticket,
put stuff on the air that people want to see.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a beautiful ride for me, and I
one
mean,
of the
it's just great.
One of the best times in my life was when I got to play, or best nights I should say, was when I got to play at Memorial Stadium. Actually, several times.
Wow!
With the Harding Rams back in the day.
Oh, well, you were a Ram, Harding Rams.
Yep, 1987.
That was great. They had that was an inner city school, and then now they've got. I guess they still have it. It's a good educational program that they have there at Harding now. But we did a lot of good athletes who came out. Yeah. That's great. It's good to see inner city get touched like that. That's wonderful. That's the key right now. Education for our kids, taking care of our kids, and who knows what the next 4 years is going to be all about.
Yeah,
you people in Georgia that are listening to me right now, Harold Johnson, you get off your butt, get off your arse, and you better vote tomorrow. And you know which way to vote. You want stagnation. You want to see trillions of dollars being spent. You know where you're going to go. If you want to see the approach that our great president has done for 4 years, and to deserve 4 more, but we know how that turned out. Let's keep America moving. Let's keep America great. These people that want to socialize this country, are you out of your freaking mind? Are you on something? What are you smoking? But geez, you don't get anything for nothing in this world, folks.
No,
please remember
not.
that. And say what you want about this president. Yeah, he ran his mouth a lot, kind of reminded me of me. But you know what? He did more for a lot of people, especially minorities in this country, than Barack Obama did in 8 years. Trump did it in 4, and made a lot of things happen for African Americans and other minorities in this country. And that's why he turned out to be a great president. And I'm sorry to see which way it went. But you better at least win one of these Senate seats tomorrow down there in Georgia. I'll tell you that right now.
There you go. So, all right, so we got Dickie Dennis up here in Virginia tuned in.
Yeah, folks can call and give him a number, David. They want to call and ask a question.
Let's see. So, I don't know if I should give it out on here.
Okay, well, but use your best judgment. Use your best judgment.
I can send messages. How's that sound? We'll send you a message. If y'all want to call in, put the comment on here, and I'll text you the phone number. How's that sound?
Okay, that sounds fine.
Got Scott Trevison down in Florida. He just moved down there from Statesville.
Okay.
He said, tell the big guy to take a breath.
Okay, it's hard when they put that mic in front of me, Scott.
Yes.
It's like just putting a hot dog in front of somebody. I mean, just put the mustard on it, roll the relish, and let's chow down, baby. Chow down.
I told you my wife earlier said that she remembered watching you on TV when she was a kid, and she was behind you she was in front of you in one of the stores.
Okay.
I turned around, I kept looking at him like, and he's probably looking. I feel like he's looking at me funny because he's like, what is she staring at me for?
Well, it still happens a lot when because people say, are you Harold Johnson? I say, yes, I am. Thank you for remembering, and nice to see you. I learned that early on in life. Hey, be as nice to people as you want people to be nice to you. Always, and nobody could ever say that I was arrogant or I was rude to them. No, never happened. Never happened.
My Uncle Randy's down in Gastonia, and he's watched you forever.
Hey, Randy.
He says he hasn't changed a bit, has he?
Oh, so, Randy, you can't change. Even I'm not wearing diapers yet, but that'll come in time. They'll probably change that, Randy. But right now, Harold's good to go. The stream is flowing, baby. Let's do it.
That's right. Don Clark here in Statesville says, I grew up with Harold. And
who is that, Don?
Dawn Clark.
Oh, Dawn.
Dawn, and she says Harold and Linda in the same neighborhood before he was the big guy.
Yes.
His son Vince and my brother Chip were good friends.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell my son. I saw him yesterday, as a matter of fact. My son, Vince, had a great career at Statesville Senior High School, co-captain of a football team, played with Vincent Smith, linebacker with the Cowboys. Remember that? And they had C.A. Fry as their coach. They had some darn good teams over there, but just couldn't get that final push over the goal line to reach the state finals. Keith Lawrence, the quarterback, Vic Wilkins, my buddy. I see these guys a lot. Just good Statesville people, David.
Yeah,
good
somebody
Statesville.
asked earlier what you'd been up to, and I know you've been out golfing quite a bit.
Yeah, play
like
a lot of
said.
golf and just have a good time and just enjoy life, watch a lot of TV. My Eagles, just watch them suck it for a season.
Yeah.
But they're hopefully. But I'm so happy for Ron Rivera and all you Redskin fans. I'm so proud of what your team did. The Washington, what are they called? The No Nuts or whatever they called? Call them donuts or call them something. The Washington football. How pathetic is that?
Team.
Everybody's changing their name. Should I change my name from Harold? There was a lot of English because I'm part English and Italian. Okay. Harold was a common name in England because he was the king. Well, he turned out to be a real loser, a real sumbitch, and a real sumbitch. It was really mean and nasty, so people stopped naming their kids Harold.
Oh, you better change that name.
But it's too late now. We're good to go.
Yeah, but then you got to defend the word Johnson. That's kind of defensive, right? Harold,
that's good, Phil. I like
Harold
that.
neutral.
We were at Johnstone.
Yes.
I saw how they traced the name down. Johnstone, on and on, and then it finally wound up Johnson. So we're good.
Yeah, so we got what is that, the radio station over there?
WMQL?
Yeah, that's it, over in Lenore. Yeah. He's got us streaming on his online radio station.
Who is it?
WMQL.
What's the guy?
It's Ed Allison.
Hey, Ed, how you doing? Allison?
Yes, Ed Allison.
Maybe one of those famous boys from Hueytown, Alabama?
Maybe.
Donnie and Bobby and that whole crowd. And
I had Donnie in here a couple weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago.
Did Bobby pass away?
No.
Bobby's
still around.
Bobby's wife, I think, passed away a while back. Hey, you know what? Those are great races. Those were days of. I was fortunate enough to be part of the great days of racing. Look at it now, and those guys would have raced for nothing back then.
Right.
I mean, the Waltrips, the Earnharts, and back then when we really went big time. And Dale, I asked Dale one time. He's the GOAT. You know what the GOAT means? The greatest of all time.
Yes.
When it's in sports, like to me, Michael Jordan's the GOAT in the NBA. Even though LeBron James, gosh, hard not to consider him, but Michael was Michael. But when I think about the GOAT in NASCAR, it's Earnhardt. And I asked him one time because we got to be very good friends. A guy named who was his name? Joe Whitlock. I love Joe. He's passed away several years ago. All my friends are gone now. I'm meeting new people. I guess I'll be packing it in one of these days, not too soon. Health is good. But Joe called me up back in the 70s, said, Harold, there's a guy I want you to keep an eye on. You need to do some interviews with him. I said, well, what's his name? He said, Earnhardt. I said, what? Earnhardt, Dale Earnhardt. He's going to be great. If you want to hook up with him. I said, hey, thank you, Joe, because Joe was a good guy and always gave me good tips. And so we started doing interviews with him back in the 70s, and we know how that went. But I still see him driving that yellow and blue. I love that color scheme.
Yeah.
I love that on that number 3 Wrangler car.
Right. Yep.
And what can you say about that? I would tease him a lot. We got to be good friends. And we on the air. I remember a race was in Martinsville when he was coming off the backstretch around the 4th turn. He was blowing. Terry Labonte was leading the race, and Earnhardt was banging on him like a screen door in a tornado. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Did you like that line, Phil?
Yeah,
that's one when he spun him out.
Hitting it, banging on a screen door in a tornado, huh?
Yes,
Say pretty good? He got a smile on Phil's face sitting over there. Anyway, he poor Labonte. Labonte didn't know what was going on. He spun out, and Earnhardt beat him. Next night on the air, I started laughing and running the video. I said, look at Dale. Hey, Dale, give a guy a break. You're pounding on the man. Give him a break. And I got off the air. I knew phone's ringing. I always answered the phone when I was there about 5 minutes. Harold Johnson. Harold Earnhardt. Hey, tell him if he can't run any faster than that, get out of the way. See ya. That was how Dale. Dale, you there? No. That's just the way he did it. But you know what? I asked Dale when I said, seriously, Dale, who reminds you of Dale Earnhardt on the racetrack? He said, Tim Richmond.
Oh, yeah, I
Tim,
could
what
see
you
that.
think about? I know a lot of race fans are listening. I was
Yes.
thinking, oh my, he died like in his 30s, I guess mid-30s. He had AIDS, but you know what? I was told that he wasn't gay, but he was a handsome guy.
Yeah.
I mean, what a good-looking dude. And the women loved Tim Richmond. You hang with Tim Richmond, you're going to get lucky. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so I loved him. We did so many years. He come on the air not drinking, but he'd come on feeling good. And I'm saying, and our director said, we can't put him on the air. I said, chill out, he's going to be fine. We come on 5 seconds to go before we're on the air. I said, hey, Tim, get ready to showtime. Don't embarrass me, or more importantly, yourself. I'm good, Harold. The lights came on. Hey, Harold Johnson with Tim. How you doing, Tim? I'm fine, Harold. Let's go. Get this thing rolling. He was like 37 or 38 years old.
He was young, if that.
But he could drive that 28 car. I don't know, man. He could hit that. And he and Earnhardt would be banging and beating on each other. You don't see that now.
Yeah, the old.
You see, I see 40 guys driving fast, but back then, because they were hungry, they weren't making $2 million a year.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
they had to earn it.
This driver's, Earnhardt said, these guys are saying, Dale's taking money out of my pocket and off my table. I can't allow that. Let's go get it with Waltrip, and I'll never forget coming off that at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and I guess it was one of the All-Star races when he just blasted Waltrip. I mean, he spun him around and flipped him around, and I was down the next day down in the garage area. We're talking to Darrell, and Earnhardt came by, and I said, "Oh, what's this going to be like?" And Dale walked by and said, "Hey, sorry about that, man," and just walked off.
Oh yeah,
that was Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah,
and one time, one thing, I never sandbag anybody. I've never sandbagged anybody, but I mean, put him on the spot on the air. I did it to Dale Earnhardt, and I felt so badly about it. He was up in New York for the banquet, okay?
Yeah.
A guy called me up, said, Harold, ask Dale to show you his right hand. I said, why, what happened? He said, a guy that worked for him on the farm, Dale had a pet deer that would come to the house. Dale would feed him off the back porch and eat out of his hand. The guy killed that deer.
Oh.
Earnhardt beat the hell out of that guy and broke his hand.
Wow.
And I said, Dale, we did an interview, a live interview, and I said, hey, Dale, show me your hand. And he held up the left hand. I said, show me the other hand. And he had a cast on. I said, what happened? And he said it was a farm accident, and I let it go.
Yes, right,
but I felt and I apologized to him for that, and he said it's all right. But I never did that on the air. I never do that to anybody.
Well, at least it didn't turn into something that
I know,
was gone,
but
right?
I mean, boy, Dale, I'll tell you, if Dale considered you his friend, he had a pair of cowboy boots on, and I said, Dale, I like those boots. He said, well, here, take them. I just put them on. And I said, man, boots from Earnhardt, I feel great. The only problem was I wore a size 12. These were size 11s with pointed toes.
Oh,
You know what that means?
Yes.
My toes are getting stretched. I lost both big toenails. Lost both. I had to stop wearing the boots and gave them away to a plumber who came out to my house to fix something.
I'm sure, yes.
What a nice guy, Phil.
Elvis? You met Elvis?
Oh, yeah, I met Elvis. Oh my gosh. It was 1975, the World Football League. Well, a lot of folks are going to remember it, and some won't. Yep. It came out of, it was really kind of, it was around. They had teams in Hawaii, they had teams in Chicago, Philadelphia, Bell, and Peter Upton, who was Upton Bell, the son of Burt Bell, former commissioner of the National Football League. Upton brought his team from New York, the New York Stars, to Charlotte. I mean, this was back in the 70s when we had hockey, but we didn't have much in Charlotte. We didn't have anything around down here. We got a professional football team here. And so they were playing a game in Memphis. And would be at WBT radio. I was working there too, TV and radio, and we got the rights to do the games. So we go to Memphis, and just before the game starts, there's a security guard that's coming up in the press box, looking around and say, "Hey, what's going on here, bro?" He said, "Well, Elvis is in town, and whenever he's in town, he usually comes to the games." So I said, "Oh, that's cool." And he stays in the mayor's box, which was right next to where I was broadcasting the game, along with Matt Snorton, a great guy, played tight end for the Denver Broncos way back when. But anyway, just before the game starts, again, Elvis sticks his head, "Hey, boys, how you doing?" And, Elvis was big in Charlotte. He was huge. He loved Charlotte, too. I said, "Hey, Elvis, how you doing? Good to see you." But he was saying back then about not doing radio. Anyway, something happened where right behind me from the press box was a water fountain. And if you're doing play-by-play, folks, or a fan, you watch the field. You don't look back. Something said to me, "Look back." over my shoulder. I've never done that, ever. I look back over my shoulder, and Elvis is at the water fountain wearing a blue flannel shirt and jeans and boots. And I said, folks, you won't believe it, Elvis Presley's up here in the press box. And I said, Elvis, I'm reaching out because I got a headset on. I can't go too far. I said, Elvis, come on in here. Come on in. He said, you ain't going to get me on that radio. And you ain't going to get me on that radio. And I gently grabbed his hand, we got down to the elbow, just easily just kind of negotiated, put him in there, and we started talking. In fact, the president of the Elvis Presley International Worldwide Fan Club called me after and said, can I put that interview on the air? I said, sure, go ahead. But anyway, Elvis comes in, he says, you ain't going to get me on that radio, no way. And he's laughing. Well, we got him on the radio. We not only got him once, we got him on twice. He came back again. He ain't going to get me back on that radio. But he talked about Charlotte and how much he loved it. And people in Charlotte were calling the radio station saying, hey, we don't appreciate Harold putting the fake Elvis on the air.
The fake Elvis on.
And
So
you know
was
what?
that
He invited me to stay. He said, listen, come on back after the game. I said, Elvis, I'm married. Do you know if I call my wife tonight and say, honey, I'll be back in the morning. I'm going over to Graceland Mansion with Elvis. Do you know where my clothes would be when I got back?
Yes.
All over the front lawn and the driveway. But he said, that's okay. Well, I'll fly you back in the morning. But I said, Elvis, I love you for that. Thank you for that.
So if you could go back in time, would you hang out with him for the night or no?
No, I
Okay.
couldn't. There's this no way. But you know what? He was a great guy. His health was good. And we know what happened to him when he got hooked on the drugs. Even though Paul Anka, I love Paul Anka. He was friends with Elvis, and he told him, he said, look, Elvis, you can't be paranoid about your fans. If you come on down here and have dinner with them in Vegas. He said, come on down here, get Paul Anka's book, folks. It came out like 20 years ago, but it's a great read. And he said, we'll sit at a table. If people come by, we'll say hello, we'll eat, we'll be okay. Hey, Elvis couldn't do it. Elvis, and then one day they walked down the streets in Chicago. He was doing a concert. He decided he wanted to take a walk down the mile, Magnificent Mile, and he was walking down, and nobody noticed him, and he panicked. Get me back in the room. Get me back to the room. Come on, dude.
Huh.
It's not celebrity is what you make it. I mean, you can think you're hot stuff. I'm always laughing at some of these so-called celebrities. They think they're hot. Don't bother me. Hey, they made you, dude.
That's right.
That's why I love Dolly Parton.
Yes.
I love Dolly.
I was going to ask you about her next.
Oh, yeah. We at Channel 3, we used to get the opportunity to interview the guests at Carowinds, at the Palladium.
Oh, yeah.
That's when they had that.
I worked down there.
And so I was chosen to do Dolly Parton. Yeah. And so Dolly, I mean, you know how beautiful she is, how she laughed.
Oh, yeah.
And we were backstage talking, two of us, before we were laughing and joking, and she said to me, Harold, you got a beautiful set of teeth. I said, you got a nice set of uppers yourself, Dolly. I just threw that out there, Phil. She died laughing. She went back. I introduced. She came on stage. Yes. Folks, it's the funniest man I've ever met. And but it was but she was so sweet. Yeah. And that's what makes them almost real. Yeah. You can reach out to them. Yes. So I mean, that was just it was beautiful.
Right. Absolutely. I worked at Carowinds in 86, 87.
Oh, did you? Well, we were doing this back in the 70s, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Now when did they changed it? They dropped the Palladium, I guess, didn't they?
Well, we still had a Palladium. Well, actually, they built another one, I believe it was. Okay. So yeah, because that was a new one, and I got to see a lot of good country acts. They were some of the. See, that's a great. They were some of the great times.
And, okay, Harold. So, I'm thinking about the trifecta. You met Dale Earnhardt, knew him well. You met Elvis.
Yeah.
Trifecta.
Reagan.
John Wayne?
No, I never met John Wayne. Ronald Reagan. Met Reagan.
There's a cowboy.
Hey, sat down next to him in Charlotte. They called me up and said, Harold, Ronald Reagan's coming in. This was his 80. He was elected in 80. And this must have been his second term, 80, at the end of 84, when he was running for re-election. They did a Thurston Aviation. They called him and said, Harold, we'd like to have you introduce or have you MC an event with the president come. I said, I'll do it only if I get to meet the president. I want to meet the president. They said, okay. About 5 minutes later, my phone rings. Harold Johnson. Harold, this is White House, Secret Service. And I said something about, and I'm in the outhouse. What's new? And the guy went, excuse me? I knew then that was an official call. I said, Harold, we want you here. So you can show up an hour beforehand and such. The Secret Service will be looking for you. And so we get in there, and they gave me a pin to wear and said, you can go anywhere you want. Walk around with us anywhere you want. So I'm looking at the seating range. They had the seats ranged for President Reagan. Then they have Governor let's see, who was our Jim Martin? I guess was our governor. Martin was our governor. Senator Broyhill. They had name tags on all the seats, and they had like a string of about 20 people with seats number, and my name is down Harold Johnson on the end as the MC. I'm saying this isn't going to fly, so I picked up every one of those name tags and slipped them down one seat. And the guy came up to me and said, "Hey, what are you doing, Harold?" I said, "Hey, check out the button, dude. Back off." "Oh, okay. Secret Service. Okay, back off." So Reagan comes out in the brown suit that he always liked to wear. I admired this guy. I admired this man, which many of us did, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He was great. He was a great American.
Sure.
And so he said, "Where am I seated? Where's my seat?" I said, "Right next to me, Mr. President. Come on over here and have a seat." There were Jesse Helms and the rest of them. He was there. Yeah. He was a senator. And so we're sitting there talking, just like I'm talking to a guy that I've known, or a grandfather or a father that I've known. We talked, sitting each other, and I was introducing everybody. And we're talking, and Jesse Helms came over. "Harold, are you going to introduce me?" I said, "I'm busy, Senator. Introduce yourself." And so he goes, "I'm Jesse Helms." But what a great... somebody sent me... I have a picture of me and Reagan on stage, and we're waving at the wagon. Somebody asked me the other day, "Where'd you get that picture?" Somebody had taken pictures, and about 8 months after the event, sent those pictures to me. How nice of them to do that.
Yeah, very nice.
Yes,
that's very cool.
That's great.
My wife asked earlier, before I forget, she asked, "What was your favorite golf course?" And then Phil, she's got another question. Where do you like going to play golf the most, is what she was asking.
Oh, well, I've had the opportunity to play golf at the Masters, Augusta National, like 5 times.
Oh, there you go.
I'm very fortunate there. Now I play at Twin Oaks here, play at Statesville Country Club. I play all around. I mean, whenever I get an opportunity to play, I can't think of the number of rounds of golf I've played in my lifetime. It's Phil, it's got to be 5,000 at least, I'm sure. And I still kind of suck. Although from the member tees at Statesville, I did shoot 15 years ago. I shot a 71. 1 under par, and now I'm up and down like a yo-yo. They call me the yo-yo.
Who would you say the most famous person you ever played with? Golf.
Well, God, let's see who. Offhand, I'm thinking of Lee Trevino, which he was in the Marine Corps like I was, and I loved Lee Trevino. I had a chance to play with him, and let's see. I'm trying to think of maybe a few others that I offhand feel is a tough call, because I was just very fortunate to play with so many great players.
She also asked, was there anyone that was you ever nervous to meet?
Let me see. The only person I was nervous to meet was my wife, Linda, that I love so much. Because bear in mind, I came down from New Jersey in 1957, and I was the Yankee that came down here. Okay, had a little DA in the back. They called that the Ducks R's. Little DA in the back from way back when. Yeah. Plus, I had a tight,
right
yeah. Phil's got it. I had a tight shirt on and cool bell-bottom pants on and tight, good-looking shoes, which they didn't wear down south at that time. Yeah. And I knocked on the door and I said, "Are you ready?" She said, "Yeah, but I don't think you are. We need to change." And I said, "Well, you going to change?" "No," she said, "You are." So I went home and bought put on some sneakers. She was the only one that made me nervous, and that's why I fell in love with her. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there you go. Because all right, so if you have Dickie Dennis says, "Thank you for your service there, Devil
4
Dog."
years in the Marine Corps. And let me tell you this right now about that, and about our military and defunding the police. Are you out of your freaking mind?
I know, right?
How could you elect anybody? Let's defund the police, yeah. Who are you going to call when you got those robbers breaking down your door? Ghostbusters? But here's the thing, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was very fortunate in my life. I survived a helicopter crash. The Marine Corps called it a hard landing. I call it, when 5 of us in a helicopter, 2 of them got thrown out. But we were okay. It was a hard landing. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, folks, remember that back in '62, Cuban Missile Crisis? I was off the coast of Florida, off the coast of Cuba, actually, halfway between Florida and Cuba, ready to make a landing there. Ready to land, full pack gear, about 1,000 of us on different ships. And John Kennedy was our president. And I'm going to tell you what. I don't know why Democrats are ashamed to brag about him. He was one of the greatest presidents you Democrats ever had. He was brilliant.
He saved us.
And he did save us. They estimated, had we landed, we thought they had 4,000 Russian troops on the island. They had 40,000, David, all armed with nuclear weapons.
The Bay of Pigs or something?
No, well, the Bay of Pigs, no, that was different. That was different, because that's when we were going to overthrow Castro. And Kennedy found out about that. See, Eisenhower did not like Kennedy. Usually when you have the outgoing president and the incoming, they ride together and they meet in the Capitol steps. Eisenhower would not ride with Kennedy. Okay, but here's the thing: he had generals that were saying, we found out the Russians had those missile sites But the Bay of Pigs, though, that was where we were just going to go in and overthrow Castro with air support. Air support. The planes were going to be unmarked. Well, Kennedy found out. He gets inaugurated in January. This is in April. April, where they're set to go with this. He said, "I'm the newly elected president. I can't be part of this." He allowed the attempted overthrow to go forward, but he denied the air support. So those that invaded the island had no air support. Castro had no army at all, but enough to knock out the attempt on his life. But for the Cuban Missile Crisis itself, we were landing there and practicing landings. And here they were told by Khrushchev, if the America invades the island, fire your nuclear weapons. We had guys. There was a guy from Statesville who was driving one of the B-52 bombers, ready to take off. They were running 24/7, and it's estimated. Get this: they had ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, with a range of 1,000 miles. Well, do the math. It's 100 miles from the tip of Florida to the coast of Cuba.
Yeah, right.
So do another 900. Plus, they had other missiles that could have gone 1,200 miles. Yeah. It's estimated that 80 million people would have died of nuclear attack. And we had Curtis LeMay and some of these chief of staffs that were saying, "Oh, you, Mr. President, you got to go in there and take him out. Take him out. You'll be weak." He said, "Hey, boys, hold your powder." Because remember what he did in World War II, PT 109, when he swam for like a mile with a guy on his arm that was knocked out and saved his life. I love Kennedy. I would have voted for Kennedy, but I was in boot camp at the time of the election. But he was a great president. He saved my life and many others too, because Khrushchev eventually backed down. We had to take missiles out of Turkey. Big deal. So that resolved that. But John Kennedy, I speak in great reverence and respect for him. What a great president. Saved my life. We would have been annihilated, David.
Right.
We'd have been. But that was it. Proud to serve my country, and proud of those that serve now, even though. You see some of these demonstrators out there. What do you know about America? 18, 19-year-old punks. What about these politicians? Let these cities burn down. Portland, Seattle, look at this right now.
Yeah.
What, are you kidding me? Yeah. Are you out of your mind letting that happen?
That's crazy.
Hey, say hello to my friend Billy. I don't see Billy. It's Billy Club. You want some of this? Come on.
Yeah.
What do you think, Phil?
I agree totally with
So
you.
we were talking about the you're visiting the Yates engine shops.
Oh,
the
Robert!
Yates
I love
car
Robert.
shops.
Robert was great. Now Carolyn, his wife, was a trip. I love Carolyn. She used to call me up. I had a couple stories about. Whenever I do a story about drivers leaving and coming, a lot of team owners didn't know it. I knew it before they did.
Yes.
There was a Dale Jarrett, I think, was leaving Yates to go to, where did he go? Did he go to Joe Gibbs?
He went from Gibbs to Yates,
but he was leaving, and we reported it, and Robert didn't know. And Carolyn called me up. "I'm going to sue you." That was her favorite sentence to me. Anytime I ran a story about racing, Robert Yates and the Yates racing team, "I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you." I'd laugh and say, "Carolyn, save your money. Come on, girl." I mean, but in fact, we had one story on with Joe Gibbs. I love Joe. What a classy guy. Former coach of the Washington. What are they now? The Washington
football team. That's it.
Are you kidding me?
I was flipping channels one night and I saw the football team versus the Cowboys. And I was like,
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
What's the football team?
I
Which
mean,
team?
how far can we go with political correctness in our country? I mean, are you kidding me?
So
I mean, but anyway, I ran a story that he was leaving Joe, and Joe called me up and had a press conference the next day saying it's not true. Don't believe what Harold Johnson said. Later that day, it was announced that Joe called me up and apologized.
Yeah,
that's a classy man right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Did Joe pass away?
No, his son did.
His son. JD was a good guy too. I like that whole family. But
Yes.
what a classy man. Hey Joe, you set the bar in the National Football League. You had great teams and everybody that played for you loved you to death. You're a wonderful man.
I wonder how he feels about that name change, because if you think about it,
Yeah.
football is nothing but 22 guys fighting over a pig's bladder.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. There's stories out there about several Indian tribes that like the name.
Yeah.
When I was growing up thinking of the Redskins, and even now, I don't think of somebody going to scout me if I call them the Redskins.
Right.
That was the thing. A lot of the tribes thought it was a team of honor because the Redskins were so good. The red, and that nickname, they liked it. It was they were very proud of that. So I mean, changing every you just shake your head, tearing down statues. Hey, folks, we learn from the past to make life better for ourselves and everybody. Are we supposed to delete everything and forget everything about the past? No. Forget what Hitler did? No. Oh, okay. We're going to remember that?
Then it could happen again.
Of course it can. I mean, you can. You learn from the past and make life better for everybody.
Yep.
But, oh, boy, these kowtow chicken politicians. Which way's the wind blowing today?
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking of the wind blowing, and weren't you saying you're originally from Jersey?
Yeah, South
and
Jersey.
You know what else is from Jersey? Our sponsor,
that's right.
Jersey Cape Yachts.
What are they making?
Oh, they make yachts from scratch. They'll custom design yachts.
Hey, I bet you they made a lot of yachts under Trump. I'm seeing what they do under Biden. Probably make rowboats.
Oh, well, they're willing to set you up with everything.
Gas will be illegal, right? Yes.
Well, listen, I want Joe Biden to be great. You know, one of the nice things about Joe Biden, he doesn't know he's president. I mean, that's sad to say. I don't mean that as a joke. He doesn't know where he's at. He has no idea where he's at. Right. And who's pulling the strings behind Joe? Yeah. Everybody's kind of speculating he does a year and then he packs it in. And then we get Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I've heard that
considered to be the most liberal in the Congress. Yeah. I mean, how are things going to be set up here? That's why, what is it, tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday. We got to win one of those seats in Georgia, folks. We've got to. We don't want to hear Schumer. Yeah, we're going to win and change the world. We're going to change the world.
Fill your bathtubs with water.
Go change your diapers, Joe, and then come back and see me.
So do you know where River Road is up in Jersey?
River Road.
Yeah, they're on River Road.
Wait a minute,
Lower Bank, New Jersey.
I know where River Road. What, are they in
Lower
South
Bank.
Jersey?
Well, it says Lower Bank, New Jersey, right? Would that be
right?
Yeah,
there was a River Road up in Gloucester where I live, Pennsauken.
Okay. Yeah, I just have the address here, 2143 River
So
Road.
how's business been for the last 4 years? I bet it's been pretty darn good.
I bet it has been too, but you can check them out on JerseyCapeYachts.com.
Give them a good plug. Tell them more about them.
That's right.
Can I get a yacht for Lake Norman? How
much
is it going to cost?
Absolutely can.
They've got yachts, everything from 31 foot up to 66 feet long, and they're all custom made. You come sit down and you tell Wayne exactly what you want. It's not a showroom of yachts. They sit down and they build it from scratch how you want it. It's a custom made yacht, and they even have service that they can go out and do a mobile marine service if you have problems. They build their yachts all up and down the coast.
You know, there was a time, I'm trying to think who was president when people like this company couldn't even build anything. Was it Carter? I'm trying to think that because it got so bad, the economy got so bad. But under Trump, I mean, hey, folks, that's what bothers me. In 2016 election, how'd you turn Pelosi loose again? Things were going good. You had money in your pocket. Life was good in America. Homes, people had jobs. Unemployment was the lowest it's ever been. Employment the highest it's ever been, especially in the minority neighborhoods. The African Americans, the Hispanics, they loved it. They loved it. And you know, the young black African Americans loved Donald Trump. And I mean, Maxine Waters, I remember hearing her when she heard about the young black male. He got a lot of the votes. He got 8% of the vote in 16. Trump got 12%. I thought he should have got more than that. Things he did for black colleges, small colleges, had more African Americans working, more African Americans owning homes, and he didn't get the vote. He should have got 30 or 40%.
I think probably what happened there was so many people. He was telling people not to go. I'm sorry, telling them to go vote.
Yeah.
Versus mailing in and that kind of stuff. So that kind of went against him, unfortunately. But
again, I hope Biden turns out to be one of the greatest we've ever had economically and everything else. So, hey, folks, if you got a question or so, write into us or do what you want to do here. How can they do it, David? Yeah,
so before I forget, check out them Jersey Cape Yachts They have an Instagram, a Twitter, and a Facebook, and also JerseyCapeYachts.com. And their phone number is 609-965-8650. That's 609-965-8650. And if you want to call in, send me a message on my Facebook, and I will get right back to you. And send me a text, and I'll give you the phone number to call here. Some of you already have it. Dickie Dennis, I believe you already have the number. So if you want to call in, give us a call.
What they're saying. Read what they're sending.
We do have one good question again.
What's that,
Phil?
From
Tracy. She wants to know, what is the furthest you've been away from Charlotte where somebody recognized you?
That's a good question.
Yeah,
That's a good question. I was, let me tell you this, in 1977, Tracy, listen to this story, you'll love it. We were at Yankee Stadium. I saw my favorite baseball player of all time, Reggie Jackson, He hit 3 home runs in that game. Okay, wow. The station manager at WBT, Cully Tarleton, I love my man Cully, did a great thing for us. He sent me, Bob Lacey, morning show. Bob's still going on big time in Charlotte now. Wow. Bob Lacey. Bob and I were working together.
I remember Maura Quinn.
Oh, Maura, I love Maura with the, what was the name of the show?
Real People? No,
No, not Real People. It was...
the morning.
No.
Not that one?
No,
it was at 7 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm trying to remember.
No, it wasn't the time thing. It was PM Magazine, wasn't
PM Magazine, that's it.
Oh, my mind.
Yes,
It's just mine. Huh?
That's it.
People think you're 80 years old, you can't do it. You kidding me,
Bob
Phil?
Lacey and Maura Quinn.
Bob, they were great on the show. I used to always say to Bob, I co-hosted with Bob, there was 90% me and 10% AccuWeather, and then Bob was thrown in. But I love Bob Lacey. He's a great guy. Anyway, we go up to New York. Okay, we get off the morning show. We fly up on a charter. And this is going to be a long day. And so... after the game is over at 11:30 or 12 o'clock, we're on the train going back to the airport. Okay, and I'm standing up. Plane's crowded. Anyway, I'm standing there. There's a guy with his back to me, and then his buddy is facing him and me. And I turned around, and the beard, I probably had mustard. I had a beard, hair, everything messed up. And the guy, I heard the guy that was looking at me said to his buddy, "Hey, turn around, look. I think that's Harold Johnson from Charlotte." And the guy just made believe like his face, looking back. He said, "That's not Harold Johnson. That guy's a damn bum." That's a true story. And I started laughing. I said, boys, it's me. And the guy said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Harold." But Tracy, that's a true story. That's a true story. That was funny.
And she also said PM Magazine. She remembered that. And I pretty much remember. Lee, Carolyn, and Brett Troutman are tuned in. And Brett was the one I was telling you about earlier, who was a huge race he's a race fan, but he was also wrestling. One of his biggest things is wrestling.
He has to like Flair.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. Ric Flair's the man. We
he
got
made
him
it.
hanging up here.
Yeah. Rick, and like I said earlier, we saw him last. It was 2 years ago, I guess. And in fact, I talked to Tommy Young. You wrestling fans remember Tommy. Tommy did the slide and slap. Tommy Young's move was he would slide across the ring when ready for 1, 2, 3. As he was sliding, he'd hit 1, bam, and then he'd hit 2, 3. But Tommy and I, we talked last week, and he told me he talked to Flair not too long ago. Rick's doing great. Yeah. Imagine a pounding. Now, look, folks, I know what it is. You and I, but are you kidding me? Coming off that top rope, any of us want to try it and see how fake it is?
No.
I mean, it's showbiz, of course. That's what it's all about.
They're athletes, for sure.
Yeah, you're darn right. A number of surgeries, they don't fake the surgeries.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, will you?
The height is the height.
I can't believe that. Some of these get the neck, and some of them are so talented with the moves they make in the ring. I mean, wow. I like that.
Yep.
There's a wrestling show on Saturday. It's on Fox. It's on Friday nights I think at 8 o'clock, and I watch it, and I still marvel. I still marvel at their talent. That's for sure. That's for sure.
So I wanted to ask you about your another thing about Robert Yates Racing. Whenever you went over there, and I remember you were talking about it on TV that the bumper doesn't just fall off.
I was going to bring that up, David.
Yes.
I don't
want to forget that.
Something happened. Who was driving? Was it?
It was Ernie Irvin, or was it Dale Jarrett at the time?
It must have been. Anyway, the bumper.
Jeff Cart wanted me to ask you about the 28 shop, so that must have been when Ernie was driving.
Yeah, the bumper on one of the cars fell off.
Yeah.
And it brought out a caution flag or did something to tighten up the pack. And I was on the air laughing and saying, "Come on, bumpers don't just fall off." Anyway, I went over there to do a story with him, and as we came back, one of the guys put a potato in the exhaust, so we had to stop and take the potato out. And I don't think it was baked. It didn't have any anchovies or anything with it.
It was baked by the time you
so
took
anyway,
it out.
the guys called up or at the station and said, "Send Harold back to get his bumper." They had taken it off just in a matter of 2-3 seconds.
Yes.
So see, Harold, how quickly it can come off.
Right.
I had to laugh at that.
Yeah, I'm sure. At the time you were like, dang it, those guys. But
I remember that. We had such good time.
I actually talked to Robert about that too.
Oh, really?
Not long before he passed away, we sat down and
we mentioned
talked
Robert
about
was
that,
a good man. We love Robert. Carolyn, if you're listening, I forgive you for saying you're going to sue me so many times whenever we did a story. But that was a very successful race team. They were a classic group.
Yes, they were.
Did Davey Allison ever drive for Yates?
Yeah, he drove for the Yates.
How about Davey?
92.
Yeah.
91,
now here's a
92.
story about David. Davey Allison had a wreck. Remember, it was the All-Star race when he got knocked down, had to be hospitalized. And I got his hotel. I was in the hospital, and they were holding all calls, but I got through to him. And I just wanted, his wife Liz, beautiful Liz, answered the phone. I said, Liz, it's Harold Johnson. I just want to check on Davey, how he's doing. And she said, well, he's doing okay, Harold. I said, well, tell him I called and wish him the best. And so, by golly, he gets out of the hospital 2 days later or 3 days later, and he holds a press conference, and he starts blasting me for badgering his wife.
Oh,
and he was ripping me. And I came on the air, played that, and I threw up my hands like, hey, Davey, I don't know if it was a head injury or what, but I was not badgering your beautiful wife. I called one time, and it's just to see how you were doing.
Yeah.
And, of course, then we know he gets the helicopter. I think what was it? He was just learning how to fly.
Yeah, he was.
The damn thing. Come on, will you?
I remember you being at the helm of a lot of controversy back in the day.
Oh, well, yeah, but you know
Always
what?
something.
But you know what?
Yes.
99.9%. I had such good. The Hornets, when we got them, what was that? In '88 when the Hornets came, I guess was it '88? I had.
George
so many
Shinn.
good sources, David, because people trusted me. And you know what? People like to talk and share stories with you. And I never, ever burned a source. And I had the greatest source ever in the Hornets organization. And George one time said, where'd you get that information? Is my office bugged? I'm going to have a sweep of my office. He gets things out of here before I even walk out the door. He's on the air with them. Yeah. And, which we were very lucky to get. So many stories like that, but again, never enjoyed whatever you do. You know, it's what's a wise man once said: if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Right, that's what they say.
And I was so fortunate. How many of us can say we actually went through our lifetime working and enjoyed every day? Even when I was at Channel 9 and signed a contract in 1983 to go back to Channel 3, and Channel 9 sued me, took me to court. I didn't get mad. I was still, Channel 9 was worried about what I was going to say on the air. I said, I'll be the same guy. I'm not going to blast anybody or whatever. Hey, it's a business, okay? I said I had one son that wants to be a doctor, another son that wants to be a lawyer, and a daughter who wants everything. Even the judge laughed. Yeah. And the courtroom laughed. They had to hit the gavel. Hey, calm down.
Hey, so who do we have on the phone with us, Sam?
Who we got?
Hello?
Hello?
David.
Hey.
Good evening, David.
Hey, who is this?
Good evening, Phil.
Hey, bud.
Good evening, Harold. This is Dickie.
Oh, Dickie.
Hey, Dickie, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great, Harold. You're a riot, brand. Thank you for your service, Double Dog.
Oh, thank you, my friend. That's nice of you to say.
My question for you, Harold, is do you fish?
Do I fish?
Yes, sir.
Oh, no, I used to as a kid, but I haven't. One of my goals in life is to catch a great white.
Oh my God.
I want to catch it. I'm going to go. A guy's going to take me next summer. We're going to go off the coast of Maine where they hang out, and I want to put it back in the water, but I want to try and see how close I can get to his mouth. That's a true story. I told the guy I wanted to try that. I'm a daredevil. I wanted to catch the great white when they come up out of that water like Jaws. Yeah. I just want to see how close I can get to his mouth. If he bites my head off, so be it. He'll have a good meal. He'll be a smarter shark.
Like a great
what a way to go. So no cage.
No cage. No, come on.
If you ever get up to up around Richmond way, man, you come on. We'll go out and play in the river and some kayaks, man. You're a riot, dude. I'd love to hear your story.
Thank you, my friend. God bless you. Hang in there.
Dickie's the old fence climber.
We're doing it.
Oh, did he climb the fence at Richmond?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, man. You're a hero of everybody. Take care, buddy.
Come on,
I climb a 3-foot fence. I climb over. That's the closest I get.
I see you, Dickie.
It would be just great, man. Come on and go fishing up here. Bring Hamm and Phil with you, man.
We'll bring the whole crowd. We'll run a bus. Thank you, my man. Oh, that's great. Call, hey, folks, you can call in. You got a question? Well, thank you, Dickie. Appreciate you, buddy.
See you, bud. Yeah, he's the one. He does a lot of kayaking up there through the James River and all that.
Speaking of rivers, you know, folks, in September, and I'll write this down. If you read the Gauley River in Virginia, West Virginia, excuse me. If you want to run the rapids, they turn off millions of gallons. The U.S. Corps of Army Engineers, they turn the water loose. It's the Gauley River. Check it out. And up in West Virginia. Not far from Charlotte, really, 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And they release millions of gallons of water in September. And people get the guides, and you come down the river on a raft. It's rafting. Yeah. And I want to tell you what. I was, I like to fool around and joke around. And I had a life jacket on that was really too tight, and I couldn't expand my lungs to breathe. I couldn't breathe. But they said, you can jump in the water here if you want. So I jumped in, and I got kind of like sucked under, and I couldn't breathe. And I was coming up out of the water, and they were laughing. Harold, being funny guy. Look at the big guy being funny. And I'm pointing to my. Anyway, the next day, a woman drowned from Charlotte going down the Gauley River. But folks, it's a great. It's a great experience. You rent a guide, and they take you down. They usually do it in September. And if you wanted to, great. I mean, you don't have to go to China and run the Yanzing Dingzang over there, where about 50 million people have drowned. You can do it up there at the Gauley River in West Virginia, and I'll tell you, it's an experience you'll never forget.
Huh? Yeah, I'd like to do something like that.
That's cool. It was great. I enjoyed it, except when I almost drowned.
Oh yeah, gosh. And especially if you jump in and it's kind of cold water and you already can't hardly breathe.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I couldn't expand my lungs to take in any air. I could have been a casualty.
Danny Lee says, "Love you, Harold." And I know he's listened to you before.
Oh, thank you, my friend. Appreciate the love. Right back at you, bud.
And then Jim Dooley, he says Harold is a golfer.
Jim Dooley.
He used to live here in Statesville.
I know Jim. I know Jim Dooley.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's related to Bobby Dooley or not.
So that little monkey we have over there that had it's a planter thing. Whatever. Yeah. He sent that to us.
Oh, nice.
And we call it Dooley.
This studio is pretty great. I mean, that's very classy. I like right on the square. Is the clock working? We're on the square in downtown Statesville.
Works. I think they have to reset it. It's like 7 minutes off every 6 months
downtown
or something
Statesville,
like that.
It's just so beautiful.
Charming.
I just hope the businesses can make it here, folks. Shop local. Shop. I know it's tough. We see more stores closing, but hopefully things are going to get better. You know, we're spending trillions of dollars to try to get businesses back on their feet after all the virus. And thank you, China. How about that? They hit us hard without firing a damn shot.
I know, right?
How about
so Billy Buck's done a great job.
And that's why you like Trump so much, folks, because and everybody getting on our president for saying America first. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Well, I want America first. I don't want it to be second or third.
Right, yeah.
What's that going to do? In fact, when we're first, we're helping other countries expand as well. And we help people. We're the most generous people in the world. That's been proven. And people that live in our great country, citizens of our country, want to burn it down, tear it down, rip it up. Hey, you want to leave? I'll buy your damn plane ticket anywhere you want to go. I don't think I want to leave just yet, Harold. I'll get back to you. Yeah, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go to find it any better than you got in this place called America? Tell me about it.
Nowhere.
Nowhere is right. Nowhere is right.
Friday we're having a law enforcement appreciation day here.
We should have more of those.
I was telling Billy this morning. I'm like, you know what? We appreciate them every day.
Of course. And listen. There are bad apples. There are bad apples in law enforcement, just as are in any business you want to look at, any business, and they need to be weeded out. Absolutely,
right.
They need to be, and then they know who they are.
Yes,
and other law enforcement officials, they know who they are too. But they're sometimes afraid to make the step to get them out. Get them the hell out. Get them out.
That's right.
Because 99% of our people, law enforcement, are great. As I said, when the robbers come knocking on the door, who are you going to call? Ghostbusters.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Yeah, that's the fun. That's the fun. That's the fun. The police too while we're at it. That's a great idea.
We're going to feed 500 law enforcement Friday, breakfast and lunch. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. That's wonderful.
I like this comment by Sam Shark. It's called the Kung Flu.
The Kung Flu, yeah. That's very good.
I opened the window the other day, an influenza. It's an oldie but a goodie, Harold. It's been around for 50 years.
Sam also commented that you better get your Jersey Cape yacht now because you won't be able to afford a rubber duck in your tub next year.
Yeah.
I tell you, Sam, I truly hope not. And I hope he realizes it's Joe Biden. I hope he realizes where he's at and what he's at, because he's still making flubs and dubs and making comments that make no sense. But look at the media. Folks, I worked in the media. Let me defend the local media, Charlotte, wherever you watch. Local media, they've got a lot of good conservatives in local media, believe me. National media, 95% of them vote Democrat. They're liberals. They're pie in the sky. And the way they treated Trump was an abomination. Look at the times he made himself available. Oh, my gosh. He made himself more available in 4 years than all previous presidents in our history. I saw a story about that. Okay? And what did he get for it? He got slammed. He was with Jim Acosta from CNN. Hey, I like to see you come to Statesville, man. I'd like to just put my hands around your neck for about a couple minutes, Jim.
That's right.
I think I got enough power in me. I think this old Marine could just do a little damage to that punk ass face of yours.
What's up? Hey, what's up, Scott? We got Scott on the line with us, Beer Man.
Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, am I calling number 9?
Yes, Scam. Go ahead, Sam.
You're the winner, Scott.
Scott, I'm sorry, Scott. Go
Call,
ahead.
what do I win?
You can buy me breakfast sometime.
There you go.
How about a trip to Daytona?
Oh, that might be nice.
Yeah.
That might be nice.
Yeah.
You went out of Coors Light.
Yeah, Harold, I'm Scott the Beer Man, and you're a legend, dude. My parts, I'm telling you.
In my own
Glad to
mind.
see you.
People have said I'm a legend in my own mind. But, hey, I was lucky, Scott.
Yeah.
I enjoyed what I did. I was nice to people, and people responded by watching our great television station in Charlotte and radio. And so the good Lord didn't give me a lot of talent. He put it in my tongue and said, Harold, just run your mouth until it stops, and I'm still cooking.
Right on, brother. You know, the first time I think I met you, it was probably at the Speedway, but I think actually it was over at Salmon's Construction Company. You used to hang out there, didn't you?
Yeah, we'd have lunch there sometimes a lot. Yeah.
You get stories from old Chris and Sam over there. Remember, everybody used to hang out at Sandwich? That was like the first place when I first moved to Charlotte back in '92. Everybody used to hang out there.
Oh, we had a good
times,
we'd
man.
do that. We'd hang out at Green's Hot Dogs. Green's Hot Dogs, the best hot dogs I ever had in my life. I don't know if they're still open or not down in Charlotte. Man, they were so good. But we got a lot of friends in Charlotte, and we had a wonderful time.
Brooks Brothers?
Yeah. Meeting, and we met a lot of people just like you, my friends. How you been doing? You doing okay?
Good. I'm a NASCAR refugee. I'm living down here in Florida in Daytona. I got my boat called Sea Tunes, and we're out here fishing and working on the farm, having a good time.
What's the biggest fish?
Come on down and see us in Daytona.
What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
We caught a shark a couple of weeks ago, but we usually catch kingfish, 3 foot long, and right now everybody's catching redfish over here by the inlet and Sheep's Head right now.
Hey, I got a
But
picture of
it's
the boat.
good weather, and
I showed him a picture.
Pardon me?
I showed him a picture of your boat.
I got a picture of that boat. That's a good-looking boat.
that's right. We'll come down for Speed Weeks.
We'll see if we can make it down there, my man. You take care of yourself.
Yeah, Hey, I got one more question.
Sure.
You got a good Sterling Marlin story for me?
Well, I like Sterling a lot, and of course, we remember what happened with Dale Earnhardt. You know, it's going to be 20 years next month. It'll be 20 years next month. Can you? Okay. Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing. You don't talk racing without bringing up Dale. And how about that? How about that? And remember, they tried to blame it on Sterling, and that quickly. And here was Dale. Dale made an unsafe move. Right? You got to say that. He was blocking. Michael had the race won. Michael had the race won. And Dale was blocking and made an unsafe move, and look what happened. And plus, Dale liked to cut that seatbelt down, that Simpson seatbelt, and liked to slide down.
Yep.
And Bill told him many times, Dale, that's not going to protect you from a hard crash, because we all looked at it and thought, that's okay. He's hit it hard, but he's going to be okay. But but again, he was. I was proud to call him a friend, and I loved him. And as I mentioned earlier, I asked Dale one time, I said, who reminds you of Dale Earnhardt driving? Without skipping a beat, he said Tim Richmond. Remember Tim? You knew Tim.
Tim Richmond.
And Tim was Tim could stick that car in spaces even Dale's like that, like, wow. And they both loved each other. Different personalities. Dale, hard-nosed. And Tim just loved the race, but he was full of life and fun. And I loved them both very much. Two different personalities, but for Dale to say it's Tim Richmond, that was quite an honor to be compared yourself to another driver. And he was there. But listen, my man, you take care of yourself. Keep America.
Hey, Harold, I'm going to finish watching you, and you're a legend, brother. And I want to give a shout-out to Billy Buck and WAME for having you tonight.
Thank you.
And just keep telling you some good stories. Thank you.
My friend. Take care. Appreciate you very much. Appreciate all you folks getting in touch and staying high. And we're looking pretty good. What do you got, David?
See you, buddy.
Love you, mean it.
You too, bud.
All right.
Yeah. So, who was let's say your least favorite driver? Because I remember watching you on TV, and there would be different people come up, and it would be like you could almost tell that you were getting aggravated by this particular driver and that kind of stuff. But I mean,
I'm trying to think of I love Cale Yarborough to death. I love Cale.
Yeah.
And a guy called me up. That's when Cale was switching. Where'd he go? Where he was switching teams, but nobody knew about it yet. But I was getting ready to announce it on the air.
Yeah.
And Cale was wearing a hat. Cale was going bald. So Cale had some plugs put in his head. Back then, that was tough. Those plugs hurt. Putting about an inch and all buried in your head, like putting them, bang, bang, bang. Anyway, the transplant was going to be with the plugs, and he was wearing a hat. And I called him up. Did he drive for Junior Johnson?
He drove for Junior for a little bit, a very short amount of time.
Who was he with before Junior?
He
was switching.
Was it the Hardy's car or the Holly Farms, whatever it was back in the 70s?
Holly Farms.
Was it? Anyway,
Well, in the 70s.
He was switching. We made the announcement. Because he met with Junior in Charlotte. Yeah. And a guy called me up and said, Harold, I overheard the conversation. Junior's in here meeting with Cale Yarborough, and they're going to announce that he's leaving Holly Farms and he's going to drive for Junior.
Okay.
Okay. And so I went on the air with the story, folks. Cale's going to be switching teams, and when I got off the air, Cale called me up and said that story is not accurate. Harold, where'd you get that story? And I said, well, I know it's true. He said, no, it's not. I said, Cale, if you don't confirm the story, I'm going to tell people you got a hair transplant, you got plugs in your head. And there was a, and I wouldn't have done it, but there was a long pause. And I said, Cale, are you still there? You son of a bitch. Yeah. Okay, it's true, but don't quote me. I said, your plugs are safe. Your plugs are safe, Cale.
So he drove for Junior for a very short time, but
they were successful.
But one of the things that he did do was he had mentioned, and somebody overheard him say that he wanted a bear. A black bear, whatever. Yeah. So Henry Benfield found him a little cub bear.
My man Henry.
Yes.
Henry gave me some moonshine.
Yes.
Okay. And at the track. This was 30 years ago. And believe this or not, I found it yesterday in a cabinet.
Oh, there you go.
In my house. And I was holding it up at the racetrack because I'm not a drinker. And he said, "Put that away. Don't let people see that stuff." And so, and it's really funny. This was back in the early 80s or late 70s. He was making them. Is he still around?
Well, we got law enforcement in here with us today.
That's okay.
Henry is still around.
Is he still driving the truck? He used to drive the stuff for, was it Hendrick?
Yeah, he drove for Junior forever.
Yeah.
But now he's driving for Roadway or somebody, just a regular trucking company.
Him?
And yeah, I saw him. I've seen.
I love Henry.
I talked to him about 3. Well, the sheriff was in here with me, Sheriff Campbell.
Hey,
and
we need to
called
re-elect
him.
the sheriff when his time is up. I like the sheriff.
Oh yeah, Darren Campbell.
I mean, and
He's
the deputies and we've got good law enforcement in Ottawa County, police and sheriff's department.
Oh yeah,
because they care about people.
Absolutely,
they care. They don't get attitudes, and they care, and that's what it's all about. But I love Henry. We had some good funny days. I think he's from Iredell County. I think he grew up in Iredell County.
Yeah, and when he comes in here, I'll make sure I'll tell you so you can come in.
But tell him, said Harold still has the moonshine.
Yeah.
Come on, hey, that stuff could blow up. I better be careful.
Yeah.
It's a jar. It's in a jar. I just taste it.
I think it can only get so potent, right? If it's 99.9%.
That's been up there in that cat. I just found it. It was yesterday. Yeah. That's uncanny. It's got a big label on it, moonshine. Oh my gosh. Sure. We'll get liquored up after the show. Come on to my house. We'll get liquored up.
We should.
I don't drink either.
All right, let me finish my story right quick.
Okay.
So Henry Benfield found him a little cub bear.
Oh no!
And then he wrapped him, or not wrapped him up, tied whatever, took some string, rope, whatever, and wrapped it around him. Okay, put it on Cale Yarborough's airplane, and Cale was flying himself back to South Carolina. And
did he know it was there?
And he knew it was there, yes. So, but he said he kept turning around looking back because he could see that the bear was starting to gnaw through the ropes. So he said by the time he got that plane landed, the bear had just gotten loose. So then here goes Cale out the door. The plane's just about still rolling, and he takes off running across the tarmac. So that was his bear.
So what did he do with I wonder what he did with the bear.
I don't know. We need to ask Henry about the rest of the story because I bet Henry would know. I should try to call Henry just to see if he'll answer. Let's see if he'll answer.
Go ahead.
Yes, I think I should try that.
Henry's got a lot of stories. Henry's got a lot of stories to tell. I mean,
oh yeah.
And whenever they carried all kinds of hats and stuff, NASCAR stuff. If ever he got stopped for speeding, he'd be passing the hats out to the highway patrol guys. Okay,
let's listen to.
Just go ahead.
Let's try to call Henry.
Henry, this is Officer Cavalli with the police department. We got a questioning about a bear in 1972.
Now, if he don't answer, listen to his answer machine. It's pretty funny.
Come on, Henry, pick it up.
Henry.
Hello?
Is this Henry?
Yeah.
Hey, Henry. Do you recognize this voice? Do you recognize my voice?
Do what?
Do you recognize my voice? Put your bottle of liquor down and listen to me. Do you?
Can't understand you.
Well, that's what a lot of people said over the years, but they watched anyway. Watch my lips move.
Hey.
Do you know who this is?
I'll have to call you back. I'm in a bunch of them construction here. I'll have to call you back, all right?
All right, call back. Call back, Henry.
Call back, Henry. See you, buddy. Bye.
That's cute.
Man. Yes. Sounds like he was.
I hope he does. I hope he does. I hope he does.
Construction.
But we were very fortunate to meet a lot of people, and and it goes by so fast. The time goes by so fast, and when you think back to people you've helped, I remember one time a guy called me, a minister called me. I want to tell you about Rick Hendrick. Rick made me promise never to tell the story, but I'm going to tell it. I love Rick Hendrick.
Yeah.
Almost died. He wanted to die many, many years ago. I think he had leukemia. They flew a brilliant surgeon, not an orthopedic, but an oncologist down from New York. He was ready to go, and the guy saved his life. And Rick he's done so many great things. Anyway, a minister called me. I answered the phone. Harold Johnson. Harold Johnson? Yes, it is. Harold, we were talking about this problem we got, and somebody said, call Harold Johnson. He'll help you. And so he called me. He said, we've been saving money. This was a minister, black minister, and he was saving money to buy a van for the church, for his church. He said, Harold, we saved that money for 6 months, almost 8 months of bake sales and everything. We got the money, and then the man said he'd sell us the car for this X amount of money. He said, no, it's going up in price, another few thousand. He said, Lordy, I don't have that kind of money. I said, well, you can't get you the van. And he said, Harold, so many people are counting on that to get these people disabled to church on Sunday. What can I do? I said, give me your phone number, and I'll call you back. I called Rick Hendrick. I said, Rick, this guy, and he's legit. He's got a situation here. Can we help him out? Really? He said, sure, have him call me. I called the guy back to mention. I said, here's his phone number, private number. You call him and tell him you talked to me and tell him your story. And he said, okay. About an hour or two later, the minister calls back and he's still crying. I said, well, Reverend, I don't know what I can do to help you. What else we can do here? He said, oh, Harold, you don't understand. I said, what? He said, he didn't charge me for the van. He gave us a free van. I thought, oh, my God, that's Rick Hendrick. Yeah. That's Rick Hendrick to this day doing stuff like that. That minister was crying. How I started crying. I got a soft heart. People think I'm hard all over. No, I got a soft heart. And I started crying, too. I mean, Rick Hendrick. That's Rick Hendrick.
I was down at down on the lake with Ricky. I was over at Blaze Alexander's house. We were having a big party, and Jimmy Johnson was there. Anyway,
I love Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy's great. And so I had one of his crew members on here last week with me. And anyway, so Marlon Yoder, who was an Amish that left the Amish community to come work on Jimmy Johnson's team, basically, to get into NASCAR.
They usually don't switch.
So it was an interesting show. So anyway, we went over. We got in the boat because Ricky, it was starting to get a little bit dark, and he didn't want to have the big boat out. So we took it home, and it was kind of like, here comes Rick and Linda, I believe her name was, his wife, Ricky's mom and dad, and then they come walking down, and it's like they have the keys to the other boat, so we're just like switching boats, and the boat raises up, and they had like 5 other ones to choose from, Wow. In this place, yes. So we got in his other boat and took off.
Well, again, going back to as a country, as a people, and I'm proud to say I'm white. If I were black, I'd say the same thing because I have a lot of black friends. And the thing that irritates me more than anything, when I hear politicians play the race card, you're a bigot, you're a racist. That I just want to grip my damn teeth. And Obama and Eric Holder, his attorney general, played that card more than anybody. I'm sorry, folks. They played that card every chance they got about the hatred in America. Where? I'm out and about. I see black today. I was at the grocery store. A couple of black guys said, I said, hey guys, Happy New Year. They said, hey, you're Harold. Yeah. And we hugged each other. We gave each other a hug and said, hey, how are we doing? I don't see it. When I see Statesville, when I go out, when I'm out and about, I don't see people hating each other and attacking each other. And I think Statesville can represent what America's all about, too. But these bastards that play this, they want to play the race card, these politicians, because they know you fear it. Don't fear it. Hey, you challenge it. I had a lady that called me once. Here it is. Did you ever see the commercials with Aaron Rodgers for Nationwide Insurance.
Yeah,
okay. With the other guy. Well, there was there was the black guy they got on there now doing the commercials with him is good. But the guy they had on there before that, a guy called me up and said, Harold, take a look at the commercial and who's playing the spot with Aaron Rodgers. It was Pat Minnis. He worked in our sports department. I hired Pat.
Oh, okay.
What a great guy. Pat Minnis. Anyway, I was in the sports department. The phone rang and I answered. Harold Johnson. A lady called. She was African American. She said, "You're a racist and a bigot." And I said, "Excuse me?" And Pat was sitting 2 seats behind me. So it was on the speaker. And I said, "Ma'am, what are you talking about?" Well, you made some comments on the air that were racist and bigoted. And you owe someone, I forget, it was you owe an apology. And I said, "Well," she said, "You're just a racist and a bigot." And anyway, Pat comes over to charge her. "Hey, lady, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. He's not any bit of racist any more than you are or I am." She said, "Well, who are you?" She said, "I'm Pat Minnis. I've worked with him for 3 years. There's not a racist bone in his body." And boy, there was a pause. She said, "I apologize, Harold." And I said, "You don't have to apologize. I'm sorry whatever I said may have offended you, but I just don't do things like that or do recall what I would have said that somehow could have been misconstrued by you." And I said, "Please forget it and thank you for calling. Keep watching." "Oh, I will. I'm sorry. Thank you."
Yeah, that's all it really takes a lot of times.
You call me a bigot or a racist, show me something.
Right.
Hey, tell me something. Think of this. How many times have I been on the air live in my broadcasting career?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
You need to be the press secretary.
Well, I mean, think about this. How many? I'd like to know. Somebody tell me. I started in '64.
Yeah.
And I've been on the air, TV, radio for 50, 60 years. How much minutes-wise? Think about the number of hours or days. And I can honestly say I've never, ever said anything of racial put down or anything else.
Right.
Even though I could make fun or poke at a white guy or a black guy or whatever in fun for something that happened on the basketball court or whatever. And so, but you want to challenge me with that and call me that? Give me some proof. I'm not going to let you go or off the hook if you got to show me. Show me. I'm not from Missouri, but show me anyway. And that's what we need to do. More people need to do that. When they level that charge at you, because nothing's worse than being called that. Okay, people know that, and they know they can shut you up with it. But you got to stand up and just say, "Show me what you're talking about."
That's like people getting on Facebook and all the social media, and they start just pointing fingers and saying all these mean, nasty things. But if they were right in front of you and you could talk to them face to face like a real person, then there wouldn't be any of that. If we just talk, you know what I mean? Just talk.
I hate to see the division in our country. The politicians love it. That's votes. That's votes.
Right.
That's
exactly.
votes. But I don't say. Maybe I guess it's because of my attitude. I look at black, whites as we're all together. We're working there. I was in integrated schools growing up in New Jersey. My best friend in 9th grade was a black kid named Eddie Blackstone. Had the most beautiful sister. Her name was Telly. She was absolutely the most beautiful woman I ever saw in my life. I don't know what he's doing now, but he used to wear a sport coat and tie. I thought he was Mr. Cool. Every day to school, sport coat and a tie. My buddy Eddie Blackstone. He might be listening tonight. Eddie, miss you, bro. How you been? It's been a long time.
Yeah.
The only differentiation I see in class, in my eyes, is whether you own a boat or Jersey Cape yacht.
That's right.
You're either top shelf or you're just on the water in a rubber tube.
Whatever.
Yeah, we throw that in there when we need to kind of even things out and get level, level the curve.
That's why the yacht. Who's the sponsor of the show? Who is
Jersey Cape Yachts.
Jersey Cape Yachts in New Jersey. Give them a phone number, Dave.
Custom-made yachts.
If you're not in a Jersey Cape yacht, you're in a rowboat, right?
Yeah. Now, during Trump, we had everybody in a yacht. Under Biden, they might be making rowboats. And again, I hope I'm not accurate with that. One thing I don't quite understand is how his family. Look at Hunter. Look at the son. Millions and millions of dollars. He was getting $50,000 a month. He was getting fit from that. What was it, the gas company over there?
Yeah.
He was flying over an Air Force Two, Daddy's airplane, getting a check for $50,000 a month, and then coming back home.
Yeah,
and he knew it. And he knew it. And how dumb, wouldn't you think that he would be saying, he would not be encouraging his daddy to run for the presidency? I mean, thinking, my dad, things are going to get exposed here. And how the wife, Jill, Dr. Jill, she's a doctor in education, folks. If you pass out, she's not going to give you mouth to mouth. She's going to roll you over and poke you and hope you wake up. She's a doctor in education. I respect that very much, but everybody thinks she's a medical doctor. No, she's not. No. But for the family, we didn't know his dementia had set in so quickly, and yet the family's pushing him to run. Well, he won, and I give him credit for that. But even still, every day when he goes out and another flub, another whatever, doesn't know where he's at. He made some reference to Kamala Harris last week being the president. Made some reference to her being president. Not like after 8 years. He's not going to make it for 8 years. No. What is he, 78, 79? Years old.
Not at least not mentally.
No, and I feel for that. How could you put your loved one out there to be ridiculed and mocked and laughed at? But again, the nice thing about it for Joe, he doesn't know it, and he doesn't even know he's president. So hopefully he'll settle in and he'll do a great job. I hope he succeeds.
So Scott Feltenhausen had asked the question: What is Harold? What Harold would have done for a career had he not been on TV? Gosh,
that's a great question, Scott. I don't know. I don't know what. I have no idea what. I knew as a kid growing up right outside of Philadelphia, New Jersey, listening to the A's broadcast. I loved my favorite team, the Oakland A's. They were the Philadelphia A's. Then went to Kansas City. Arnold Johnson bought the team for $1 million in debt. Back in 1954, Arnold Johnson took that team from Philadelphia to Kansas City. Think about it. Look what these teams are worth now. $2 billion, $3 billion, or whatever. Yeah. This was back in 1954. Arnold Johnson, no relation to this one, bought that team for $1 million and debt, which was about $800,000. Think about that. And then sold eventually to Charlie Finley. 1969, Finley took him to Oakland. They had some great teams, 72, 73, 74. Won the World Series back to back to back. I love that team. So I got out of the Marine Corps in 64. I called Charles Finley. I got him on the phone. He was an insurance businessman, very successful. He was in Chicago. I got through to him. I said, Mr. Finley, I want to come to work. I love the A's. You don't understand how much I love this team. I got a 1954 A's yearbook at home with autographs in it and everything else. And I said, I'm going to work I'll work free. He said, Harold, get your education. I was going to Lenore Ryan, or Mitchell College at the time, down in Lenore Ryan to finish up. Get your education and call me back, and we might have something for you. I thought, well, that's good advice. But I got my education but didn't call him back. But that's the way, I love that team. So it's still, I'll go to my grave loving the Oakland A's. So that's my story. Hey, and also somebody said, Harold, about your life and your success, what do you attribute it to? Number one, I never, ever took no for an answer. I never took no. Nothing bad, of course, right. but maybe more determined.
Well, I guess that would be kind of like if somebody says, you can't do that. What are you going to do that for? So when I went through college, my first day in college, he said, what are you doing here? What do you want to be in this brakes class for? And I said, because I want to get into NASCAR.
That's good.
Well, that's kind of hard to do. You got to know somebody. So, within 5 years, I was in NASCAR, and I was in it for 25 years.
Well, and it's funny because you worked your way toward that. There were things that happened in your life, David, which weren't really that connected, but yet somehow tied in with your ability to get into NASCAR. That's the way it was with me, and I would listen to By Sam, Claude Herring. And here's another thing. The announcers for the A's, Byram Sam and Claude Herring, and this was back in the 50s. I'm at the airport in Charlotte one day, and I saw a lady standing there, an elderly lady, and I was getting ready. I said, hi, how are you? She said, you're Harold Johnson. I said, yes, ma'am, that's me. What's your name? She said, Sadie Sam. I said, S-A-A-M. I said, Sadie Sam. I said, I was growing up around Philadelphia, and there was an announcer named Byram Sam. I said, that's my brother.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Small world.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes,
I said, oh, my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
This was back in the late 70s, early 80s. Huh. Oh, my gosh, Sadie Sam. I said, oh, Sadie. She said, yeah, he died about 5 years ago, way back then. So, But, don't take no for an answer, and stay away from negative people.
Yes.
Don't associate with downer people. I believe opportunity knocks more than once. I'm one of those that believes that. But you got to be ready when it opens its door. You can't be standing there with opportunity. What do I do now? Yeah. I was lucky to get into Charlotte working TV. Jim Thacker. A lot of you folks are going to remember Jim Thacker. Channel 3 sports director. Came up here to Statesville to speak at a sports banquet. Okay, when he was finished, I said, Jim, I'm working at WSIC at the time. I said, Jim, I want to do what you do. I know I can do it. He said, well, Harold, stop by and see me sometime when you're in Charlotte.
Yep.
The next day, I was doing the morning show across the street, got off the air at 10 o'clock. I was knocking on his door at 11. He just happened to be in early. He was doing ACC basketball with Woody Durham. Okay, and so he would come in early on those certain days and then have to leave and go wherever he was doing the game. He just happened to be there at 11 in the morning, getting ready. Usually came in 2:30, 3 in the afternoon. The secretary was in front. Can I help you? Yes, I'm here to see Jim Thacker. Do you have an appointment? Yes, he told me to stop in. So she called him, and he walked out. He said, somehow I knew I'd see you soon. He said, come on in here. They took me into the studio, turned on all the lights. Okay, and I'm from New Jersey. I said, hey, I'll talk. I'll turn the lights out. I'll talk. What do you want? I thought I was going to be interrogated. Anyway, they turned the camera on and said, just start talking. They handed me a script. Well, I didn't do the script. I just started ad-libbing stuff. Yeah. And they thank you, Harold. Appreciate it. Well, they were looking for a weekend sports guy. This is in 72. And he said, we'll get back in touch. Well, a week goes by. I call him up and bother him again. No, Harold. Anyway, we go to New York to cover Davidson. They were in the NIT. I'm in a bookstore. The guy walks around the corner of the shelf. It's Jim Thacker. Yeah. In New York City.
How about that?
And we shook hands. Jim. I said, when are you calling me? When are you going to call me? Yeah. He said, believe it or not, when I got back, I was going to call you. We're going to let you do weekends and then see what happens. Oh. So for 1 year, a little over a year, I worked in Statesville here for 5 days, then went to Charlotte and did the weekend shows, Saturday and Sunday, never a day off. My beautiful wife took care of the kids, and I couldn't have done it without her. And so then finally got the full-time gig. And I did not whine. I working so hard, I need a day off. If I could have worked 8 days, I would have done it because I was fortunate enough to love what I was doing, David.
Yes, that's right. Like you said, if you love what you're doing, you never work a day in your life kind of thing.
I know. It's so beautiful. So great. That's so great.
My Uncle Randy Hamm says, I just want to say before y'all close the show, great to see and hear Harold again.
Thank you, Randy.
Keep on trucking, Harold.
You got to, Randy. You got to. What was Satchel Paige said? Keep running, don't look back. Somebody might be gaining on you, or somebody might even catch you. You just got to keep. Every day is not great. I mean, we all have issues and problems, and today, but folks. This is America. This is America. Okay, we'll get through this.
That's right.
Look what China did to us without firing a shot. Yeah. And Trump. This is the thing I admired about our president. He got Deng Hung Lo up there, and took care of Deng Hung Lo because what scares a bully more than anybody? A bigger bully. That's right. And Trump is a bully. Yeah. When it came to foreign affairs, and he was a bully. With North Korea, Deng Hung Lo, look at this guy. And he goes over to China and goes head to head. Look at this. We had a trade imbalance of almost $800 billion a year. 800. Did Obama do anything about it? Hell no. Did Bush do anything about it? Hell no. Did Daddy do anything about it? Hell no. But a guy named Trump came in there and said, hey, boys, there's a new sheriff in town, and you're going to respect this place called America. What's going to happen with Biden? We're going to be bending over. Get ready to get greased up, boys. America, here we go. And be careful out there. And don't accept it. With Biden, the difference in those two. Are you kidding me? The Chinese, they already sent out, congratulations, we love him. We love this new president. We're going to get rolled again. $800 billion deficit. Trump reduced that down to where basically you're not going to have a total balance. You try to get it as even as you can. But he negotiated down about 90% of that deficit. And and we were doing great. Look what happens. It's just,
I know.
It's bizarre. But folks, we can make it. We'll make it together. We'll make it together. All of us together. Antifa, all this other crowd, the Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, okay? Black Lives Matter, you got a militant. You got a militant, communist founding the organization, trying to get money from the government to what? Go in and burn and loot. How about this caravan? Did you see that caravan coming from California headed to Washington? I mean, hundreds of cars driving from California. Trump supporters going to be there. And you notice this? Who gets the hell beat out of them at these different rallies? Yeah, the Trump supporters. Well, Trump people don't go around with knives and guns and bats. It's these other damn people that try to do it. The cops are told, stand down my arse. Yeah. Well, in the end, good will prevail. So just remember that. So Jim Dooley, speaking of good, he says moonshine, Harold can't handle fire cider. So you took the fire cider before, I know. You said there's a video of you doing that. That's
some good stuff. Right. It's the vinegar and the cayenne
I drink
pepper,
apple cider vinegar every day.
Lemon, same here.
Yeah, and you know what?
It works.
Well, here's what it is. We don't know scientifically, but I had a very good doctor tell me that a few weeks ago. It does have an effect on your bowels, on your movement. Okay, so that helps your respiratory system. That's one definitely thing we know. I take a spoonful, a big tablespoonful every day. And again, it doesn't hurt you, but I know a lot of people that take it. Apple cider vinegar, not just plain vinegar, folks. Apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, like the Bragg's, and with the
Bragg's
mother
is
in
good.
it.
Bragg's is good.
And it helps you lose weight too. I mean, it just kind of like.
Yeah. But it's good internally for you. So try it if you're having some issues. Okay.
What do you mix that in? You put
Nothing.
It in tea or
straight up.
Do you? Okay.
Or you can mix it, but that would dilute it though, Phil. Just straight up. It's going to take you. I know one guy takes a shot glass of it every day.
Yeah.
Holy cow! I mean,
Right.
it'll kind of jolt you a little bit.
Yeah.
And then wash your teeth. Take some water and wipe your teeth because sometimes it might, over the course of time, could leave a little stain on your teeth. Nothing bad. But,
Right, yeah.
But folks, I'm telling you,
Well, another mixture is that with lemon juice as well.
Okay.
And warm water and a little bit of honey in there and some cinnamon.
Sure.
That's like a power shot.
Yeah.
Do that every day.
And it's good. It's good for you.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So Jenna Trevison's Scott's wife. He just called and she says, "Great to tune in tonight with everyone. Happy New Year."
Oh, thank you for that.
And she had called Henry back because he's in
Chattanooga.
He's in Chattanooga. Yeah.
Did he know? Did he have the number where he's calling for? Did he know who to call us?
I guess. Well, he probably showed up on his caller ID, so I'm not sure.
Try again. Can you try him again?
I don't know. Jenna, did he say he would be able to hear us if we called him back or what? Because I mean, I could call him back.
Try him again. I'm gonna see if he knows who I am.
Yeah.
He was probably caught in traffic, which means he was in the self-checkout line at Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
I love Henry.
Yeah.
I love Henry.
Yeah. So because she called and talked to him apparently, but I'm assuming that she told him that it was you.
Call back. Try and get him again. See if we can't get him. We got to touch base with everybody out there, folks.
Actually, let me try this again.
Oh my!
All right, Scott. He says thank you. I can't wait to replay this again for all my friends. Great show. Yes.
Oh, you guys. You know what? We're all in this thing together.
Actually, I'm calling this number. I need to call him.
I
need to call Henry.
We're all in this together. And, we got to help each other. We're the most generous nation and most generous people in the world. But you hear some of these critics that try to put us down and we're selfish because you're successful.
Just don't let them bring you down.
Because you've worked hard.
Here we go.
You're supposed to be bad.
Let's try it again. See if he can hear us this time.
Come on, Henry. Pick it up, Henry. Come on, Henry. Come on, Henry. Put that liquor bottle down, Henry. Come on. Oh, Henry.
Oh, Henry.
Come on, oh, Henry.
Yeah, if you do any kind of Google search, read any kind of book about Junior Johnson, you'll see Henry Benfield in there. I saw a picture yesterday.
Don't get too damn cold beers. One for you and one for me.
Henry.
That's his message.
Oh, is it?
At the tone, please.
Tell him who you are, Harold. Tell him who you are.
Oh, I guess I could have left a message.
That's on him. Somebody will tell him.
Yeah. I can call him and leave a message, I guess. He says, if you're going to get two damn cold beers, get one for me, too, or something like that. Yeah, that's his message, yes.
He's still skinny?
Yeah, he's still
Henry
skinny.
And Henry got to know Henry back in 1957, I guess, because the great governor of our state back then, Luther Hodges, he had all this land. He said, I got all this land. I got all these people, but no jobs. He was the man that instigated. He was the first guy to go up north and start bringing people down here and businesses down here. My father and my uncle came down here with Hunt Manufacturing. I made the Boston pencil sharpener. Yeah, you don't see many of those anymore, do you?
Boston pencil sharpener.
Remember Boston pencil sharpener?
Yeah.
In school. Okay.
Right.
And we played softball for the Hunt Penn. They had a team, and Henry and I played softball on the team.
Oh, okay.
That's how I got to know him. He was working out there at the time. So that's how I got.
I just sent you his number just in case you want to call him some other time.
Oh, did you? Okay,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll show you how to store that contact there.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks. It's been a great ride. We're not done yet, but I want everybody to start feeling good about our country and knowing that we are good people. Mm-hmm. Okay, and don't let anybody tell you anything different. Those that want to call you names and get nasty with you, just suck it up. And I'm anxious to see what happens this weekend. They're looking for a major crowd Monday or Tuesday in Washington for the caravan of Trump supporters that are coming in, and there's going to be the losers there. They're going to Latifah and the rest of that crowd that want to start trouble. And I mean, when did you see them in the video when they're punching old people, when sucker punching people? You got to be these mayors of these cities that stand down. You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Huh?
Well, the biggest thing is just to do the right thing and do your part.
Do you realize
if
Trump would have won, our country would still be burning? If Trump would have won. However, I guarantee you he'd have called out the National Guard or declared martial law, because I guarantee they've been rioting all over our country if Trump would have won.
It's not over yet.
Well, I know. That's what somebody's saying. Wait till the 6th of January when the Electoral College, when Congress gets to pick, certify the Electoral College, they're saying this could be a challenge there. But listen, whether it's over or not, I want a peaceful solution here. I don't want to see rioting and things like that, and people being shot. But by golly, if you don't respect the law, then you're going to respond by making sure we respect the law. That's the thing that gets me.
Hey, let's pick a prize winner right quick.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, they get a yacht. They get a new yacht.
Well,
they're spinning the wheel.
Last week, the winner got a Jersey Cape Yachts sweatshirt.
So, that's not bad. I'll take that myself.
Yes.
That wheel is greased up pretty good. Still going.
I know it is. We use this for our birthdays in the morning. A birthday prize winner. All right. So we got a yellow. We got a, let's see.
Yes.
Jim Dooley's the winner today.
Hey, Jim, congratulations. What's he win?
He wins a, what do we have to win?
I don't know. Didn't we?
I just been sending random prizes. Actually, I have got to put stuff in the mail tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but I pulled out my stack of envelopes last night.
Yeah.
And they were all stuck together. I guess they got into some moisture or something.
That's
So
cool.
they were already sealed together. So anyway, I'm going to send them out too. That's Jim Dooley. You got that down? Yeah, there you go. So Jim Dooley says Wednesday Trump rally here in DC. So anyway, I do a prize every week, a prize winner every week.
David.
So yeah, I have a good time with that. Yeah. It'll probably be we had some of those $1 million things that they used to throw out at the racetracks whenever the drivers
way
won
back
$1 million.
when.
Yes, way back in the days.
Well,
and,
I have to get a couple of the high banks game from Beer Man.
Yeah.
Those are great prizes.
Yes.
It's like the monopoly of racing right there. So
yeah,
We
and that
had a
reminds
good,
me, I want to do this show. Yes.
we had a good time here tonight.
Show them your magazine there that I just gave you this today. Show it up to this camera right here.
Which one, David?
You can show them the picture, or you can show them the magazine itself.
Where's the one with the?
Well, actually, there's the one that's got you in it. Just the big.
Look at Richard Petty. Richard Petty and I have a birthday on the same day, July 2nd.
Oh, is that right?
oh.
July 2nd.
I always know. Happy birthday, Richard.
Here's the one it says one of a kind right here.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's cool. Look at this picture.
One of a kind.
Look at this. Where's the camera?
Right over here.
Can they see that picture of Earnhardt, the number 15 Wrangler? Boy, that was great. I love that color scheme.
He won in 1980 was his first championship in that car.
Damn, he was good, wasn't he?
I had Doug Richard in with me.
Oh, I
he
love
was his
Doug.
first
Crew chief.
Yes. That's right.
So, Harold, out of all the sports broadcasting you've done in your career, what's your favorite sport? Tracy had asked that good question, too. Favorite sport?
I really love baseball. I love the NFL. I would probably, I'd have to say, I'd have to put them both on an equal setting because I love the Eagles and I love the A's.
Okay.
And I mean, I love them both with great passion.
That's good.
So to see my Eagles team do what they did this year is absolutely pathetic. But good luck to the Redskin Washington football team. Ron Rivera battled cancer, survived it, won a Super Bowl in Charlotte, or got to the Super Bowl in Charlotte. And proud of him for everything he's done. And God bless you too, Ron. You're a good man, and good luck to your Redskins. I think how far they can go. I don't know. I like the Buffalo Bills too. Josh Allen, the quarterback. Everybody wants to talk about Aaron Rodgers and everybody else. These great quarterbacks. Nobody gives this guy pub because he's playing in Buffalo. He's one heck of a quarterback. This guy's great. Got a great arm, and the playoffs are here. I hope they let more people in the stands. I mean, this is nuts. If you take the proper procedures, you wear your mask. You try to keep the distance if you can, but. We'll get through this, folks. We're gonna be coming out of this better and bigger than ever. And God bless you all out there. We need God on our side more than ever. He's with us because we're good people.
That's right.
But we are, as a collective society, all different colors, creeds, whatever. we are good people, and I'll leave it at that. Thanks for having me, guys. We had fun.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
great.
Thank you
It
so
was
much
great.
for coming in with me. So y'all check out my website, DHammiam.com. And I see there's a couple more comments. I'm going to ask Harold here off air, and then I'll get your answer on there. But you have to go back and see the comments in this video once it's done, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up. But go back and look at the comments, and I'll put his answer to your questions right there. But go on my website, DHammiam.com, and if you go ahead and put in your send me your physical address so I can send everybody that goes on there and gives me your email address, I'll send you a card. Tell me your favorite driver, and I'll send you one of those little race cards that I have, many of those, with your favorite driver on it. So go ahead and do that. And Jim Dooley, send me your address in Messenger. But thank y'all so much for tuning in. Check out my Facebook page, Racing Roots with Hamm. And y'all tune in next Monday night. We're going to have, next Monday night, I'm going to have Kevin LePage, the NASCAR driver. Kevin LePage, you remember him?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's good. So he'll be on with me next Monday night. So you're welcome to come back anytime.
Thank you, David.
And actually, someone had said on here to make sure you have Harold back.
Hey, who loves you, baby? Remember Telly Savalas, the actor in that show?
Yes.
But he had the lollipop. Who loves you, baby? Harold does. Don't forget that now.
I remember you doing those little taglines on TV too. Yes, of course. That's all. It's very memorable.
Thank
Great.
you, David.
Yes, sir. You're awesome. And so then after that, I'm going to have Cliff Champion. It will be the following week. So, and we're working on getting some more people in here. So y'all have a great night, and we'll see y'all next Monday. Tune in tomorrow morning for the Billy Buck Morning Show, and check us out here on Facebook, WAME Radio on the Facebook page. I'll be here at 6 a.m., 6 to 10. So y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching.
It's a wrap. It's a wrap, baby.
That's right. That's a wrap.
Harold, tomorrow.